So if you want to know where to inform yourself, you can go to Thomas Huxley, which was the grandfather of Aldous Huxley. The Third Way was a book about the two groups, capitalism and socialism, that he wanted to be replaced through the socialism with experts and bureaucrats. H.G. Wells was chosen by Thomas Huxley to write for these systems, and Newt Gingrich then distributed that books in the Congress of the USA. And first harp in TV was shown that could produce sounds in our brains, and that was possible 1950 already. So what they will do with G5 nowadays or the harps, we don't know. It's not for investigation of the ionosphere, probably. Because if it were, they would publish a lot of papers explaining their findings. So it's probably a weapon and they can't really tell us anything. So that's population control. Again, and also the smartphone was already invented in 1945. And D-Day was probably, when they went USA to Germany, was probably the success told by smartphone to the USA. And H.G. Wells, A History of the World, you can read, or John Stuart Mill, that was telling about the blacks that had to get away from Africa to get this country be taken over by the World Bank. Because in economy, the blacks, they wouldn't play with, they wouldn't adapt. That's why they have to go there. And the impact of Science on Society is a book by Bertrand Russell. The Booth Club's Prohibition and Sex Shall Destroy the Bonding and Make the Families Vanish in the following. Then a mini pill and LSD was allowing the 60s to happen. So that one is also population control. And no competition, one big club at the top. That's how it is. And the Grand Chessboard by Brzezinski you can read. And Yugoslavia, Iran, Iraq, Syria, were outside of the banking system of the World Bank. So that's why the last country, Syria, was attacked lately. You know, the games. And it's about, death a lot. So that's why the games were invented as well, because there you learn groupthink and also you get desensibilized to kill. That's what you have to do in military, and to discourage individualism. That helps population control a lot. And the climate change is sold to us through repetition in the media, and to give us the blame also helps a lot. So to alter our environment now by the refugees coming in, and to change the rules thereafter. Charles Dalton Darwin said, in 1,000 years everyone will be living in the cities, the next million years, is the book. And Bertrand Russell, Depopulation, says, he's in the Rockefeller Foundation, you will only be born in the future if you have a job assigned to you already. And the MI6 has been starting Reuters, which is distributing all the news nowadays. So with this brainwashing, you can actually distribute this climate change so heavily that now everyone believes it. And privatization of the services of the medicine and water, electronics has to be forced. And if all the water then is owned by the big corporations, we don't have any handle anymore to do anything if they just cut these services or make them so expensive we can't afford them anymore. This is how the sun has to shine onto the earth in that angle so that we still do produce vitamin D. So maybe the chemtrails want to prohibit the sun coming through so we get weak. So that's population control as well. So here you have again 500 before Jesus, Mithras or Osiris or Baal or Nimrod that were depicted in the sun. And here it says moon, Nimrod is holding to this sun, which is not, because it's an ox. I just put that in here. What for, I don't know. So the sun goddesses are about the sun to get up and the sun to set again. So they are in control of the sun if they do this chemtrailing. And then because we have these Christmas feasts, when you have a Tannenzapfen, look it up, this word, that one means that they are giving within their families the fruit for the next upspring to themselves, so they get everlasting life. And there is a satanic hand gesture, it says, which is a 3-pod as well. So maybe this one has to do with the flood as well. I'm not sure, because that's their system. Like, to flood everything means to, in the Bible, the water means humans. It's depicting humans. So when the water is coming, it means people are coming. So as we see the elite go a lot like this, you could also have 3 up and 2 down. So this satanic gesture really is kind of one of their symbols. And then the sun rays behind the head of the gods is depicting sun rays. And then there is a snake which has wings, and it's then Satan of our paradise story of the Bible. And also the dragon that has wings is in the papal heraldics. So that staff that the Pope has with him depicts a snake. So it's called augur, and it stands for authority and power. And he has it with him whenever he has a TV crew. And Tutankhamun Amun had this one, and the Pope has this one. So he is still one of those Mesopotamian kings, we could say, that has one of these foretellers wands with this bent top depicting the snake of our Bible. And also, if you go and look at this from the Vatican with its 8 spikes, you could say, 4 and 4, that one was also the sun wheel of Baal, Assyric, Babylonic. And on Vatican, the Peter Plaza in front of it has the biggest sun wheel on it, similar to this one, and it works as a sundial. And every Baal temple had this 8 spiked floor for sun worship in the antique ancient world. And if you look at what the Chaldeans had for a Yule festivity, it was the 25th of December, and the day of the child was the 21st. Then you have, I mean, it goes back that far as to Baal worship, which is forbidden by the Bible, and the Assyric Babylonic times. And Odin later on had in his drink that would give him ecstasy and death in the end. Sort of reach to the knowledge and magic of the occult knowledge of the magic runes. He was inspired then, and so the poetry and also war was invented. And Odin is the same like Wodan, and it means the inspired one. So these bad merchants also give us art, of course. And he was a big old man with a long white beard, with a spear or wand in his hand. So furthermore, he had some animals, 9 of them, and he had a dark helper, Krampus, that was flying on a broom, or also called Knecht Ruprecht, or like half human, half goat he was in some countries. So you can see that depicting the devil as a goat face, you know, maybe also consider Yom Kippur, where once a year the high priest would go into the most holy of the temple, and La Adonai means forgot the word, geopfert. La Azazel means it fell over the cliff. So all the sins were given through the hands of that high priest to a goat, and that one was given a clap on its behind, and then it ran off with all the sins. And since this goat is the enemy of God, of course the enemy of God is Satan. So that's why we have these symbols so prominent in the media.